Joe Booth here. I wanted to put together a video showing you some of the logistics of the trip that I went on Fordyce Creek about 2 weeks ago. It was mid-June 2021, and it was running right around 400 CFS, which I'm told is prime. It was my first time down Fordyce Creek, and dude, it is awesome. I was so stoked. I was really lucky to get to paddle it with a great paddler that had been down the run over a dozen times, Gavin Rieser. You're going to see some of the trip footage that we have here in just a moment, but I also wanted to put in some of the logistics because Fordyce is not easy to get to. There's a hiking portion to get down to the actual put in. You have to have four-wheel drive truck in order to get to the road that's going to take you to the hike. So there's a lot of other stuff going on here besides just paddling. With that said, the paddling is legit. If you are a class 5 kayaker, you will absolutely love this run. There's everything from steep, long, bumpy slides to waterfalls, sick boofs. So it's great. Now, if you're a class 4 kayaker and you're trying to step up into steep creeking, Fordyce is pretty intimidating. This is not the type of run that if you are just coming off the couch and you're thinking you're going to go run a few pool drop class 4 rapids, then this is not the run for you. You can walk a lot of the class 5 rapids. There's ample areas for safety and scouting. But with that said, there are some very tight gorges with some committing rapids where you have to have solid class 4+ skills, which means hitting your boof every time, always having a completely reliable combat roll onside and offside. There's holes in there that will surf you and push you up against a wall. There's a lot of strainer and pin potential. So you got to be really active on this. So let's jump into some of the logistics. I'm going to show you guys. All right, so Fordyce Creek is in the high Sierras. It's pretty close to Lake Tahoe. This is a great run for Northern California or Central California paddlers. I think that when this thing runs, you've definitely got to get on it. So what we've got here is the blue line is the actual creek. The yellow line is the 2-wheel drive section. The orange is the 4-wheel drive section where you have to have a pretty stout rig. And then the red is the actual hike itself. So let me just point out the actual takeout for a second. This is Lake Spalding. This is a big, long lake. This took us 40 minutes to paddle across at the end of the day. And we were tired. We were really stoked to get to the takeout. The takeout is very nice. There's bathrooms here. You've got a big, great spot to meet with your crew in the morning. And then the actual shuttle itself is the yellow. You're going to be on Highway 20 for a little bit, and then you take it to Interstate 80. Interstate 80, you're going to be on there for not too long before you peel off and you start heading into the actual mountains themselves. You're going to be able to find all this shuttle information on some of the other websites I'll show you in a second. But it's a pretty long drive. If you are driving just like a normal car, like 2-wheel drive car, you'll be able to get up this road right here in the yellow. But what we did is we actually all jumped into a 4-wheel drive vehicle right here for this orange section because it got real rowdy real quick. This starts to drop down into a legitimate 4-wheel drive road. And if you are going to have a car that has like any sort of lifted, oversized tires and it's 4-wheel drive, you'll have no problem getting down this. But if you're in like just your stock Subaru Forester, it's going to get a little bit of a banged up in a few of these spots. Now, with that said, they are doing a lot of work on this dam and they might improve this road because of that. And hopefully they do, which is going to make this creek a lot more accessible for people in the future. And then there's a gate right here. So we stopped at the gate and then we started our hike in. So this red line is the long hike. You could certainly paddle this lake if you wanted to. It's only 1.5 miles, so it's easy to just walk along this. And it's also a really nice way just to get the heart rate up and before you get into the creek, because as soon as you're in the water, you are full on, it's going. So it's really cool. You walk right up to the edge of the reservoir. You can see the spout right here where the water is coming out. And this is Google Earth. And this is when it's running really low. So this is not indicative of the actual run itself, but I just wanted to show you from a put-in standpoint what this looks like. Now, I got to say, it wasn't a bad hike at all. I'm 41 years old. Like I say, I'm pretty fit and active, but I fucking hate carrying my boat. I do. I got to be honest with you. I hate carrying my boat, but it wasn't too bad even for an old guy like me. So as you can see, the shuttle it's pretty straightforward, but it's pretty logistics heavy. So make sure you have the right vehicle, that you have enough gas, and that you've got plenty of water as well as food for the hike. Because once you get on the creek, you are full on committed. This is a wilderness run. There is no side road. You are hiking out. So make sure you've got a spare paddle, a first aid kit, plenty of food and water, maybe even a water filter. I brought a water filter. I brought extra granola bars, Z-Drag, because there's a ton of pin potential on this run. So I highly recommend you do that. Let's take a look at some of the videos now that you can see on YouTube. You can YouTube scout this entire run. That's what I did. It helps you understand the cadence, what you're getting yourself into. I highly recommend that if you're going to be doing any type of wilderness runs, you check out all the logistics in advance, get a map, print up maps, do whatever you need to do, communicate with your crew. You really want to show up prepared. And then YouTube scouting these runs is part of that. Not only does it get you mentally ready because you know what you're getting into, but it also gives you a chance to familiarize yourself with the rapids in the order that they are. And then when you're on the run themselves, of course, you can decide whether you want to run everything. On YouTube, there's a lot of great videos that will come up. Now check it out. They're all different flows. Like you can see this top one is 349, 350 CFS. The next one down is 300 CFS. I hit it at 400 CFS. And the person that I was with, Gavin Rieser, he said that is prime. And I got to say, I loved it. I found it manageable, but also the lower section that's real manky, class 5, read and run, boulder garden, just trashy stuff. I found it to be manageable as well. So watch these videos and then check out California Creeks. There's a great write up. You can see some really good pictures. There's shuttle information here. There's also a Wet State has a really great write up about it as well. So you can check out all the information here. There's tons of class 4 through class 5 rapids on this creek. And then always American Whitewater, right? And if you don't support American Whitewater, you should definitely go on their website and start making donations. These guys keep our creeks and rivers accessible to all of us. So take a look at all of these great resources before you get on the water.
Bottom.
You want me to go first or?
I'll go first.
All right. Have a good line. Yeah. Maybe 30 seconds or so. I can try to get my phone out and get a picture.
So my general impressions of running Fordyce Creek for the first time: one, it is a full-on mission. You have to be mentally and physically prepared to go in this. It is a long day. There's a lot of scouting, possibly even a lot of portaging, depending on your ability level and depending on how you're feeling that day and the kind of safety that your crew can run. So be prepared, go in physically and mentally ready. Two, this is a long day. You need to stay focused from the very first rapid eraser head all the way through the manky stuff that takes you to the lake. Now you can walk the manky stuff at the very end. We decided to run it. Like I said, it was run about 400. We found it manageable to Eddy hop and boat scout. We were getting out when we needed to and kind of billy goating around. But there's a lot of people that walk that and there's no shame in it. I walked a couple rapids that day myself and I'm completely happy with the way that I performed. Overall, Fordyce Creek is dope. You should definitely get on this. Like I said, if you're a class 5 kayaker, this is a super fun day on the water. Everything from steep slides, waterfalls, dope ass big boofs. You will have a super fun day on this low volume creek. If you're a class 4 kayaker trying to step up into steep creeking, this is a challenging run. You need to have a bomb ass boof. Your combat roll needs to be super legit, and you really need to know how to handle yourself on a long committing run. We put in at 12, which is kind of a late start. We didn't get off the water until 7 hours. Now we did take a nice long lunch right at Where's Barry, and I'm glad that we did because it gave us a chance to rest and digest. So if you haven't paddled that much this year and you're planning on getting on Fordyce, I highly recommend that you spend a lot of time in your boat dialing in the skills to get you ready. And if you are a class 5 kayaker and you're ready to fire this up, so dope, so legit. Definitely one of those runs that you've got to hit if you are a California boater or you're passing through the area while it's running. And I want to give a big shout out to American Whitewater for making the announcement that Fordyce Reservoir was going to be doing a week-long release. staying in touch with American whitewater and supporting them is one of the very important things that I encourage everybody to do that's into paddle sports. I can't say enough great things about American whitewater. So I'm going to post a lot of links down here for these resources, the YouTube videos that you should watch, the trip write-ups that you should check out, and then also a link to my book, From the River, a guidebook to sobriety from a lifetime of lessons paddling. If you're out there and you need help, hit me up, direct message me. There's a lot of guys out there that don't drink, don't smoke, but still live super fun, awesome, active lifestyles. Have fun, be safe, stay ready.